Hello everyone, welcome to Live from the Studio. I'm with Dirty Bill White-Roski, and we're going to talk about video modular synthesizers. First, let's launch the intro. Alright, welcome everyone. I'm with Dirty Bill. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi. Good, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Alright, who do I have today? I've got Alphaster is here, Benjamin Iso, I've got Alex Barnett, Schmuster is here, Malarkey is here. Morning. Alright. Okay, let's get started. So a little bit on the news. First, you know my site, pitchymango.org, and everything about me, my music. And I would like to start first to thank my supporters on Bandcamp. On Bandcamp, I've passed the 100 followers, and I've got 14 supporters, so that helps me to do this show. It's a kind of my tip jar, so if you want to help this show and the music, go on Bandcamp, become a supporter. It's only $20 a year, and that's very helpful. Alright, what's next? We've got, I put up the resident page on ambientvibes.com, so you can go there and you can sign up for resident, which will be on the second Tuesday of the month, which is the 13th of October at 8 p.m. So here is a link for Be Improviser. The form is in. I changed a little bit the form so you can fill it up without the YouTube link, but you have to provide the YouTube before the Sunday before the show. So like this you can reserve a slot, but I expect that you're committed to provide the YouTube video. YouTube video, less than 20 minutes, you upload it on YouTube, Meraki as unlisted, and you can release it publicly after the show. We'll watch it together. Alright, what else do I have on the show? So we've got Resonant Frequencies. The next show is on the Sunday, October 4th from 6 to 10. The site is RusticNerd Live. It will be the 30th show. And on this page also you can find the sign-up form for the show. Resonant Frequency is entirely live, so that's the beauty of it and the difficulty of it, but it's nice. It's a live show with live performance, and I think we'll talk a little bit more about it with Dirty Bill. What else? I've got Sonic Alliance, which is, let me find the name exactly. So Sonic Sunday on the third Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. So it's this Sunday, and it will be on Twitch on Sonic Alliance. It's run by Fez. Next one, I saw that we've got Modulate TV also that is having a show. I'm not sure who's behind it, but there's a John Wells and a few more people, and they ping me also. So it's this Sunday at 9 p.m. and you will find it. So if you look at Modulate, you get the YouTube page, and from there you arrive to the Modulate TV YouTube, so you can you know, like for all the show, you can go there, put the reminder on, so like this you know about it. Alright, I see a few people joining. So we did so Navicor is here, and also Tim Thompson is here. Welcome. Benjamin as well as Bernard. Okay, no, sorry, checking. And also, so next Thursday I'm performing at the virtual DNA launch as part of Star Crash. There's Megatronic, Great Highway, Container. The locals are Ekishola, M.0, or the locals that are doing modular. I see Justin also is, and there's a few more people that I need to discover. So it's next Thursday. It's at 8 p.m. till midnight. That's going to be a great show, and it's in support of DNA launch. So they have got a page where you can contribute to DNA launch. So that's awesome. Put the link. Yes. All right. Next, I've got my album Symphony, and till the end of the month, I put the name of the digital version to name your price. And if you leave review, so here are a couple of reviews that I have. So if you leave a review before the end of the month, I'll pick up one, and I'll send the DVD, the 5.1 version in quadraphonic of this album. So you have till the end of the month, but if you want to grab the album for free, that's fine also. It's name your price, so from 0 to whatever you want. As we are talking about Bandcamp, I saw that Susan Cheney just released on the Lapsus record one of her concerts. So if you have seen Susan Cheney during performance, that's your audio edition, so it's quite nice. I should put the link. So it's on Bandcamp, on the Lapsus. So that just been released, I think, yesterday. What I saw as a new release, so Julia Bonar has released another album, which is Industrial Symphony. Julia Bonar, I think, is based in Spain, Barcelona, and she does, I don't know, dance music with who's a manufacturer in Barcelona. Oh, I know that escaped me, but she used these modules quite a lot. No, can't remember. Sorry. Will come back to me. On the Greek label, Malaki is here, so he can talk to you more about it. So there's a new album that has been released from Snakes of Russia. So Malaki released his album 2 weeks ago, and so it's a quite nice label based out of California. So if you want to have a look, please do so. All right, I think that's about the news, and now we are moving to my guest, Dirty Bill. So let me change that, because we are interested more in Dirty Bill than myself. So you're on the big screen with your Instagram page. So who are you?
Well, I'm Bill Wiatrowski, aka Dirty Bill, and I'm a visual synthesis. It's like 12 steps.
All right. So we were chatting a little bit before the show. So what's your, I don't know, origin story? Were you in a video effects?
Well, I've always been interested in video. I was an aspiring musician in high school, but I didn't really like to practice. And so I was looking for an easier way to perform, and I found a harder way to perform, and that was through exploring video feedback. At the time, I was aware of other people doing video synthesis, like Namjoon Paik, but that equipment seemed completely out of reach to me at the time. And so professionally, I ended up working in video over the years in film production and video production. And then, I guess it's pushing 10 years ago, I became aware that there was eurorack synth visual gear available through LZX. And in the early days, it was well nigh unobtainium. But I ended up with a small setup that I bought off eBay, and I think that was about 2013. And I got hooked, and I've been building a system and learning to use it ever since. So I really like doing visuals. I do make some droney type music to go along with the visuals, although I consider the visuals to be my primary focus. So it's kind of where I got to here. So.
Yeah, I'm showing some of your Instagram photo and some of the sample of the visuals at the same time. It's interesting because I got interested in modular synthesizers roughly about the same time, you know, when I came into California. I was in electronic music, never learned an instrument really. I have some basics, and I don't know, I think it's around the time, and maybe the first time I saw you was maybe at the Church of the Super Surge.
Yeah, so that was some of my first performance experience. I do like working in the studio. I like the spaciousness that allows and the time. But I also like performing live, probably almost as much. And I was working on some DIY stuff back then because there wasn't a lot of, it wasn't easy to get the LZX equipment then. And so I hooked up with Steve and Dimitri, and they're like, come do visuals for the Church of the Super Surge. My first gig out at a venue was actually the 30th reunion at, where was that? The Lab? Luggage store? One of those places. And it was like everybody. So that was pretty crazy. Todd Barton was there, Gino Robert. And that was kind of a trial by fire. Had a really small setup, but it went really well. And I was pretty much hooked on doing live after that.
Yeah, the luggage stores on Market Street.
Oh yeah, I think it was the Lab because it was on a side street, but it was right down in the Mission, right around the corner. 20-somethings.
Okay, I don't think I've been to the Lab. So, is it still? Does it still exist?
I don't know.
Well, I know everything changing, but did it still exist before the
COVID? I think it did.
All right, that's a place I need to check out when we can go around. Yeah, and I don't know if you were in the show also in San Jose, the one organized by Danny.
Oh yeah, Danny. So I did a couple of shows down there as well. Danny got me involved with 2 festivals down there, and also in his magazine as well. So Danny Kim has been a great supporter through the years, and he's done a lot of stuff visually as well. So including exploring the lasers on his own.
Oh yes, he's awesome laser. I'm gonna show also your Vimeo site, so you can have, if people want to explore a little bit more.
Yeah, one day I'll have a website like everybody else. But right now, it'll take you to a page that isn't my website. So.
Yes, having to do all the social stuff and knowing where people are and where they're coming is sometimes confusing.
It's certainly a bunch of work. So, as I'm not really on Facebook anymore, so it cuts down on some of it.
Yeah. I'm still, I don't know how. I'm on all the social network, mainly to book the name, but I don't know which one I should focus on.
Oh, just get them all. I think I've got like 6 now. So.
Yeah.
But get your name before someone else does.
Yeah, that's basically the story, roughly.
Wait, I just registered Frank.Martin.
Oh yes, I think it's taken already. That's why I had to go. That's why I had to go with peachymango.org. At least it's a name that people remember.
That's true.
And then if people don't spell it right, then they get the Swiss composer.
Ah, that's not you? I thought you were the same. That was...
I don't know. I'm...
You're the French composer.
Yeah. Or I found the immortality. I may be very old then. Who knows? Yeah, and also I show the Resonant Frequency was coming on Sunday 4th of
October 4th, yeah. We the primary. Go ahead.
So maybe before we get there, how did you got involved?
Church of the Super Surge. So I think it was one of the Robot Speak anniversaries that they have every year, the 21st and a half anniversary or whatever. But Steve asked me to come down and do some visuals, and I love playing there. I love the shop. It is unique and iconic, and a really interesting place to play because there's essentially no room for the musicians to play, let alone visuals. But I think for this one, Tim Thompson joined me, and Danny, actually Kim, organized the production. And so we were in the record shop next door. We had a visual setup there. Danny brought a lot of production value. It was a great show. And Kevin Friedrichsen approached me after the show and said, hey, I want to do this open mic thing, and I want to do visuals. I want to have really high production values. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah, I'll do a couple and help you get it off the ground, 3 or 4. And now we're approaching 30. So we were joined by Mark Linzer, who really has helped out a lot and helped during these pandemic times to move the Res Freak into a live forum online that works pretty well. So We're excited to get that back on a regular basis. It won't be monthly right away, because the primary focus was for it to be a live gathering place for community, which works online but not quite as well. So we're going to do or try some other things to adapt that and try to get as much of that feeling online until we can hopefully get together again sometime here in late 2021 or 22.
Yes, indeed. And it took me a while to go to Auckland, because from my place it's like an hour drive, and then I joined, and then I was hooked.
Well, thank you for your participation too. The community has been fantastic, and that was one of the goals, was to build a community, and I think that part has been successful.
And we've got from the community around resonant frequency, and we've got a private Slack channel, but also a very public Discord server. I'm putting the link, so if people want to join, let me type it correctly. Left Coast Light, that's a Discord invite for the Left Coast Light Discord server.
Left Coast Light.
Yeah. So we've got a kind of a Slack channel for local people, so that we can organize events, and then we've got the public Discord servers on the community where everybody can join basically. I see you join. So you talk about Tim Thompson, so he's here listening. I've got Zachary J. Rodell who say hi, Bill. And I want to remind people, if you have a question for Bill, or you want me to do a shout out, then just type it in the chat, and I'm more happy to oblige and ask the question and release the question to Bill. So and don't forget the subscribe, follow, go on Bill's Instagram and Vimeo page, and then follow him there. I've got Coyote that say, yes, hope I said the right name. RusticNerd is such an amazing and unique event. And Alex Barnett say, Robot Speak is awesome. Steve, help me set up with my first rig. Yeah, Alex Barnett just started to perform. I hope he signed also up on resonant frequency, but I don't know if he's ready for doing a live one. Recording is a little bit more relaxed because you can control what you're doing.
Yeah, it is true, but that is one thing that Resonant Frequencies got me really comfortable with, was playing live and improvising. And of course, I've had a stellar group of co-hosts on the visual side to help me out. But I would say just go ahead and do it. So, I mean, if you're comfortable or right on the edge of that comfort, then go for it.
Yeah, and I encourage people, a live performance, even the 5-minute one is perfect. If you're not comfortable to go further than that, 5 minutes is perfectly fine.
Yep.
Don't be shy because people are doing 20-minute set.
Yeah, no, I fully ascribe to that theory. Yeah. I played Robot Speak one time on some Seattle Lombard gear that I was into. I think my set was 8 minutes long. And they were like, that's it? And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Leave them wanting more is better than leave them running for the door.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen that happen because, all the people that are coming, even beginners, the set is always good and interesting. And yes, and this is the same story. This is a little bit where I started also, people say, hey, time to bring your gear and do a 5-minute set.
Yeah.
Or more. And then you do the first one, and then you're stressing like crazy because, there's too many things to control. And then the next one, you stress a little bit less, and then you carry on. Now you know what it looks like. So, and there's a good production crew at Resonant Frequency, and the visual is awesome, and then the picture taken by Matt Biddulph are really cool.
Yeah, the photography by Matt and Dorian and Patrick and a bunch of the other people has been stellar, and Corey as well. Just stellar pictures. Like, book worthy.
Yes, indeed. And it's really cool. And I don't know if you're I don't know, starting musician and everything like that, or I saw it also. Even now with the online version, you go there, you perform, you get a video, you get picture that you can use on your website. Mighty is very cool about it. Dorian also. As long as you put my name, use my pictures the way you like. So it's really a nice boost when you're starting and you need to build a portfolio or something like that. Or
I forgot to give you the shout out too, because you've been wonderful about doing videos and video snippets, which are really cool too. So
thank you. I've learned from I don't know. I saw Susan Chani performing, and sometimes when you're in Modular, then people don't see what you're doing. So I've been trying to put a camera showing the gear so that I can project it on the side. And and also on resonant frequency, people bring cameras so they can focus sometimes, and some other place. It's quite neat. Oh, I've got peronosphora. Bruce Ricordan is here also.
Bruce.
Hi, Bruce. Peronosphora is saying, so if you can, so if you can take only one piece of music equipment to a deserted island to make your new music album, which one would it be?
It's music. The first Black Sabbath album.
All right. So the video. So which album you take and which video equipment you take to put video on it?
And there's power on this island, right? I'm going to assume that there's power on the island, because otherwise I'd be doing Lumia. But I think I would take a feedback rig. Or I could say, I'll take this one piece, which is my modular synth, but then that's kind of cheating because it's more than one piece. But it would be a camera and a monitor and some kind of processor. Something really simple. There's endless variety in that. It's just tuning.
Yeah, that's something also which is nice. At Resonant, you can walk on the stage where you're projecting and see how it's made, and it's fun to see the old analog technique for making visuals.
Yeah, I mean, a number of those times I've heard, people like Kit, essentially, they have these super duper high def feedback machines. So it's probably one of the earliest ways that electronic images or analog images were made on the TV. And then we moved into the direct synthesis where people had oscillators and filters and other types of similar to the analog module here.
Yeah, and I don't know, I see sometimes people bringing a spinning mirror and dropping stuff on it with cameras and
yep.
Or just shooting with a camera monitor because there's always some lag, so that creates some interesting effects.
Yeah, and the vibration from the music makes it sing. So that's what I take to the desert island with the Black Sabbath record.
All right. Tim Thompson say, yeah, Lumia. Yes, Kit. All right. So yeah, if you've got more questions, please ask them and relay them. So we were talking also about your couple of projects, and I think you've got a show coming up.
This one, but that it's interesting too because I was asked a couple months ago to participate in a festival in Poland called Intermedial, and they actually just announced the roster of participants, and it's pretty much a who's who of the analog synthesis world that's happening right now. So Kit's there, my friend Chris Kanopka is there, who has also participated in Resonant Frequencies a couple times. Neil Ebflow, Javier Plano from Argentina. It's really well represented, and I'm excited to see the work that's going to be presented there. I think that time frame is October, November. I don't think I'll be going to Poland for that, but it will be broadcast online. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not fully reading.
I don't know if they have actual dates other than October, November.
I see God's 19th, so I suppose God's is October.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, I don't read Polish, so...
I don't either, even though I have a Polish last name. And this is my second Polish film festival, so...
Yeah, so that's cool. I think it's on the 19, 20, and 21, I suppose.
Yeah. There's an English site too, I think.
Okay, well, I put the Facebook link and then the site, the website link, so because not everybody is on Facebook. I like to mix and match. Facebook is sometimes convenient because you have an event and then you can, say you're going, so you get reminders. Alphaster says half Polish. All right. And I've got a question from Alex Barnett. What advice would Bill have for those wanting to experiment with video synthesizers? For example, I got hold of my first gear this week, Sleepy Circuits Hypno, which is a great starter system. What else? So, what advice if you want to start video?
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, no, it's like modular synths. You buy a case and you have to fill it up, and then you buy an extra module, and then you say, I need a new case.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where and I don't really want to discourage anyone. The learning curve for video is steeper than the curve for audio. And so I actually believe it's not about the gear, but it does take a little bit more gear to directly generate interesting things with video. And I believe that for me, that reason is that the ear is more easily fooled than the eye. And so very simple waveforms are pleasing for us to hear, right? The beating frequency of two oscillators to me is a great sound, and it's very, very simple. The eye is used to seeing vastly more complicated waveforms, right? And so it is not as easily fooled as the ear. So you can do some amazing things with small setups. And I think the most important approach for that is don't expand too quickly and really, really, really learn how to use what you have. There aren't a lot of demo videos out for video stuff, and I actually think that's a good thing, because I don't want to show people how to use a module. I want them to figure it out and then show me something about it that I hadn't discovered. So basically you can't hurt anything, so plug everything into everything and see what you get. And if you're frustrated at first, just keep doing it. I went through that experience early on with like 4 modules, and it was really helpful to actually not have a whole bunch of modules, because I really did learn what those few things did. So go deep. That's my advice.
Yes. Tim Thompson say looks like intermediate start October 2. I like the a quote from Ramon Sanders. If you want the sound of a violin, get a violin. No, let's see what else you can do with all this electronic stuff.
Yeah.
And the exploration is the part which is interesting because you discover some new stuff.
Yeah, and there's one of the other things that I find interesting about it too, as opposed to like software approach, which there's some fantastic work being done in software, but I find the level of mystery and surprise in having a collection of hardware modules that weren't necessarily designed by real engineers, working or not working together, to be very rewarding. It can be frustrating at times, but at other times you'll see something and you'll be like, where the heck did that come from?
Yeah, indeed. Is this a video version of VCV?
There isn't, but there are some video, like analog-like video synthesis programs. Lumen from Paragon Software out of Portland is one, and they're, I think, getting ready to do an actual HD version. There are a bunch of different packages, I think, for Macs. vSynth 74 is super, super powerful software modular synthesizer.
Okay, that's cool.
Then you have a lot of functionality in your VJ type programs too. But Lumen and vSynth 74 have that same modular patchable paradigm.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes VCV is a nice way to start without breaking the bank. So
yeah, the bank will get broken, especially with video.
Yes. But starting VCV, which is software, so you can get a feel of it and then say, okay, no, I need the real modules.
It's a good approach, and to learn that basic functionality, which will transfer into the video world, especially basic concepts like modulation, envelopes, frequency modulation. So.
Yeah, and I remember when I started, I didn't know which module I wanted or I needed. It takes you time to use certain module, and then you discover certain workflow on modules. I like it, I don't like it, and everybody's different. So the first module is a little bit like, here's a bare bone and it's a random, and then after okay, I want that module because that's what I want to do. So yeah, VCV is a nice way to figure it out. Okay, what are the 2-3 modules that I need to buy that are fitting the way of me doing stuff.
Yeah, other than buying it, using it, and selling it.
Yes, well, it's also good for a second-hand market.
Yeah.
Or to build some gear at a cheaper price. Yeah, Tim is saying software needs better interconnection standard, and Spot, Siphon, NDI is great, but control signal need better standardization. Yeah, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, VCV, I guess, put the standard, and then no people are following it. It's a bit like eurorack. They build the standard, and then it's convenient, and it's open. All right, we've reached the alpha hour, so it's time to do your performance. You want to talk about it, or you just want to jump into it?
Yeah, we'll just jump in. It's a drone audio piece I did on the small Surge I have here, and I will be accompanying it live. So you cue me, and I will go.
So I think I've got it, so I'm changing the screen. All right, we've got the new screen, and
I won't be fading up from black.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I still have my mic open, but it's your visual now.
Okay.
So when you want, I'm muting myself, and you're ready to go.
Audio. Oh, yeah.
All right, that was awesome. Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
That's Bill, and I see Electric Kitchen also join, and they are saying, yeah, beautiful, organic. They were wondering if the audio were coming from a surge, and what a treat.
Yeah, that was 100% surge and some reverb.
Yeah, that's cool. Next Expanse is here also. And we've got a couple of applause. I think I should change the visuals to that. So yes, the gear is, I guess, behind you. That's where you are controlling.
You want to do a quick tour? Don't tell anybody where I live.
Okay.
Let's see. Don't mind the mess. Computer for streaming and doing all that kind of stuff. Let me make myself big so I can see what I'm showing you.
Yeah, just hold the I don't know.
Yeah.
GC is deciding to be a little bit blocky right now.
There we go. Yeah, because I'm moving along. So.
Oh, hold the screen for 1 second without moving so that the resolution improve. Yeah, that's your control center with, I guess, video source merging. And this
video is modular in pieces, protection mapping box.
This is your rack.
Workbench. With a giant cleaver, everybody should have a giant cleaver.
Yeah, we're not hearing you well. Just put back the laptop. We've seen some of it.
Yeah. Surge and vigilant.
Maybe some Wi-Fi interference. Who knows?
Can you hear me again?
Yeah. I'll move back to.
And where is he? Bibendum.
Sorry? Yeah, I can see your finger.
Bibendum. The Michelin Man.
Oh, yes. I can see it just behind your shoulder. That reminds me, France, and how to fold the map.
Oh, yeah. Those were some fine maps.
Yes.
They probably still are.
Yeah, they still make them, and they've got an online site and stuff like that. But there was a joke, you know that you're an alien if you can fold the Michelin map right the first time.
Yeah, I never could. But they were large, so.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, everybody say nice setup and everything. So, let's start first on the inspirational part. So, what's your inspiration for this video piece? How did it come?
Oh, well, this patch actually. Hang on, I'll lose my battery.
Oh,
but now I'm not. Yeah, I thought it was plugged in. I have been known to patch, and then, as many people, leave that patch on and explore it for a long time, because a decent video patch has a lot of ground in it. But probably for the last mostly year, I've been doing quick patches and pulling them. So this is a patch that surprised me about a month ago, and it's been on here ever since. So part of this was, let me see what else I can get out of this patch. And then I had the need for performance, so I did some tweaks and then see how it went with the drone, and it worked pretty well. So
yeah, that's cool. And I don't know, and if people have got some question, do you have also some inspiration from other video artists or?
Yes, all of them. So it amazes me the different approaches that people take, and I've had the opportunity to work with quite a few people, and I always want my things to be smoother and more subtle. I don't know if I actually achieve that, because in performance it kind of goes blah. But I do take that inspiration from other artists, and when it comes to colors, I think Tim Thompson is a master. So the crazy thing is, what I'm seeing on the screen right now is that amazing subtleness. So, but it's for the next time you'll see it.
Yeah, that's my cool.
So to actually circle back and fully answer the question, I am inspired by other contemporary video artists. I am inspired by classical artists. I am inspired by Mark Rothko, and I am inspired by musicians, and I am inspired by Persian and Hindi mystical poetry.
Oh, that's interesting. And I guess, peronosphora, I want to know, how often do you perform, before and after the COVID-19? How often do you perform?
I was performing out 2 to 3 times a month, and then pre-COVID, I decided that 2020 would be a year of more introspection. And so, other than resonant frequencies, I decided not to do very many gigs at all. And that's worked out fortuitously. So, I probably actually have played more gigs than I anticipated. But like a year ago, June, I think I played 6 gigs that month. It's not like a gigging musician, but it was quite a bit. It was a lot of gear schlepping all over the state. And it was a blast. So.
Yeah, I see you when you come to Resonant Frequency or even at Robot Speak, you've got like 3-4 suitcase of gear.
It's a ridiculous amount of gear.
Yeah,
yeah, it's ridiculous. Resonant frequencies, there's quite a bit of infrastructure to support that projection stuff, but I seem incapable of traveling light.
Yeah,
I think there's actually a picture on Instagram that's like 8 road cases of stuff to go, play a gig for $20 in beer money. But if it's the right gig, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, you kind of do it for the art and the fun and the meetings of people.
Yeah, and the experience, right? I pretty much do believe that if people are making money, then all of the artists should be compensated in some way. And for me, that sliding scale is gas money plus beer to $20K. So it's a good range. Usually I can fit something.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think the important part is, people think about the compensation down the saying, we want to do some gigs, but yeah, it's getting around people and experience is quite nice. Okay, so just looking in the chat, Benjamin Zo say it was an amazing performance. Dylan Sang just joined. He say hi, Bill. I've got Coyote Muster is here. So on the technical side, how does it look like? Which module do you use, or?
Oh, lots of them. I think one of the interesting parts of this patch is there are no oscillators. I'm using mostly ramps, which is a gradation of white to gray in a different mathematical function across the screen, and mixing those together. There are some LFOs which are adding movement to the combination of those ramps. Yeah, I have a lot of modules. I don't often use all of them, but it is nice to have that flexibility to be able to. I find that signal generation is really important for my workflow. But in this case, I'm not using any oscillators. There's 9 oscillators, give or take a few, in this machine, or combination of. But this one is mostly ramps, mathematical functions, and crossfaders. And then, of course, it is going through a cheater digital processing block on the back end. So through the LZX memory palace, and also through the erogenous tone structure. And those are all parallel paths going into the mixer from the main video synth feed. So there are actually essentially four voices mixed together.
When you say oscillator, it's like a CV oscillator, just
exactly like an audio oscillator, except that it goes to a much higher frequency. So horizontal lines, someone will correct me if I'm wrong, start around a couple hundred K, or maybe lower than that, and then vertical lines start around 1 megahertz. So essentially, sine waves at 1 megahertz is a boring vertical bar. And then the interesting thing about it is that frequency modulating that bends the vertical lines, much like it changes horizontal, or if you were to think about just that one axis in the audio frequency range, it bends vertical lines in the video range.
Go down Instagram, try to see if there's the picture of all the gear. While you're speaking.
There should be some good pictures there someplace.
Yeah. Oh, I see your surge.
Oh, yeah. And then random pictures of pizza and other things. Those are important.
I don't know. Pizza is sometimes important during a gear. Oh, yeah, and I see also you did the Deep Teach that was organized by Lachlan Fletcher.
Oh, yeah.
Deep Teach, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see your studio.
Oh yeah, the old studio. But I gave up the dedicated studio space to both lower overhead and see how much gear you can plug into one duplex outlet with wiring that's probably 100 years old. So far so good. Cross my fingers.
Yeah. All right, I'll leave it on this page with a little bit of everything. Yeah. Design virtual. Oh, Coyote is Colin. All right. I'm not sure. And DB Poland just joined also. So I want to remember people, click like the video and subscribe, and I should give Dirty Bill Instagram again. So from there you can find his Vimeo.
Yeah, that's actually a website.
Let me get the Vimeo also. Instagram is short on video size. All right, giving it back again. So if you want to follow Bill, or Dirty Bill, here you've got the Instagram and the Vimeo site again. So don't forget to do all the needy subscribe, follow, like, repost, reshare,
All those things.
All of
that makes us rich.
Yes.
Beyond our wildest dreams.
Totally. I don't know, I've never looked at video analysis, so it's nice to discuss and understand a little bit, how this stuff works, especially on the analog world.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. So.
Yeah, no, that's quite cool. So you say you are looking at 2020 to be more an introspective year, so personally, or you say I'm going to focus on my video synthesizers and then learn more? And
yeah, I think artistically, personally, I try to keep that going. Life is a learning process, and I feel that obviously art is too. I'm not a classically trained artist, and so I just wanted to take the time to focus on the work. Playing out a lot is great, and improvising a lot is great, but doing more structured work was important to me. And for that, I think you really need that solitary studio time and time to reflect on what you're doing. And so I don't have a mechanism to gauge how successful that's been, especially with a lot of the unexpected factors this year. But I'm going to continue to do it through the end of the year. Occasionally I have a crisis of confidence and go, what the heck am I doing with this stuff? But then eventually I'll see a piece and go, oh, that's what I'm doing with it. So I would like to generate a body of work that stands the test of time, or at least have a few pieces that do. I mentioned Rothko. I don't expect that I will be a Rothko, but I would like to make work that is capable of moving people. And so that's what this year is, kind of a reset.
Yes, indeed. I don't know. I've got all this up and downs also. My stuff is great. It's crap. It's not too bad. Oh, it's crap.
Yeah, one of the community is great for that, because having good friends who are objective is important for feedback. And the visualist community, I think, is a little smaller than the audio community, although like the resonant frequencies community is great. There are many, many people who can provide you with that feedback and actually say, oh yeah, that actually is crap, or you're being too hard on yourself. It's great. I think it is important to have a critical ear and eye, but not be overly critical.
Yeah, I think also the community is nice because it's they know to make it a positive feedback.
Yeah, except for me, I'm an ass. But yes, the rest of the community is great.
That's, or positive feedback. Why don't you try that? So you got something you can get into it instead of having a judgment.
Yeah,
okay, where do I go from there?
Yeah, and also really giving community. So there's no one I met that hasn't been willing to help you, to talk to you, to explain things to you, and that's been great.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I'm just checking on stuff. So yeah, the question that I have is in music you release an album. So for you, what does it look like?
Well, people do releases, album-like releases, either thematically related. There are actually a couple labels out there that do video releases, some on cassettes, some digitally. But I don't know what that looks like. So that's one of the questions I'd like to answer. I I see the pieces as more granular than fitting in to like a collection of like an album. But that's still something I'm working on, what that release type looks like, right? Because right now I essentially give this stuff away unless I'm performing. And so there actually is a number of bodies of work that I do have that haven't been seen. And so how do I want to present those is a question that I'm trying to answer. And, you know, what does that medium look like? There are media artists who are professionals. That's how they make their living. And they espouse a number of distribution methods because without scarcity, right, true art isn't valuable. And so that's something that kind of, at least in the fine art world, that's something that chafes against my punk rock DIY ethos a little bit. And so I would like to say art should be free and so should we. But at the same time, it's quite a bit of overhead and quite a bit of expense. So that's an interesting question that I'm looking for an answer for right now.
Yeah, and I came, I don't know, 1 or 2 years ago to your exposition at your previous art space. Well, you know.
Oh yeah, the my solo show with the prints. So some of the stuff that I am working on is prints, and that is one way that it does translate. Although the motion part doesn't translate that well. And I have also looked at doing content because people are actually using their, you know, big fancy OLED TVs as artistic media as well.
I've got Tim Thompson who's asking, you know, what techniques do you use for structure?
The module structure?
I don't know. What techniques do you use for structure? I'm not sure.
For structure for visuals?
Yes. It's coming from Tim, so yes, it's visual.
I thought you meant the particular module.
Yes.
I like subtle and unique color gradients, and this piece had 180-degree symmetry. I try to work less symmetrical pieces into the composition, but basically, for structure, I like, my goal is for subtle movement. It doesn't always come out that way. But it goes back to being a photographer and taking pictures, in that I don't know exactly what it is, or I can't explain it, but something clicks when I see a certain pattern or a certain set of movements, and I just essentially follow whatever that path is when that click happens. So to me, it's something that I don't necessarily plan, although I will sometimes plan the technique. Like I'm going to use, like this patch has no oscillators, and that was a conscious decision. And within that structure, it's just exploring how that choice presents the options that I have and heading down a path from there.
Okay.
That answer the question, Tim?
We'll know that in a few seconds. I think he was asking also, you know, what about time-based structure?
I always go short. So I think it's the punk rock thing. 3-minute songs are pretty good for me. But I think I'd answer that the actual same way, which is if it looks like a piece which would lend itself to evolving over a longer period of time, I let it evolve over a longer period of time, or I manipulate it over a longer period of time. But if it's something that is shorter, then I keep it shorter. Or it's not that interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it's the exploration. Turn some
Yeah,
knobs, see what happens.
A lot of it is cyclical, so my work is a lot of the background modulation and not the interactive performance stuff is driven by multiple sets of quadrature LFOs set really, really slow. So depending on what those control in any patch, certain repetition can be more noticeable, even if it's over the span of minutes. And so that would limit that set of choices.
Cool. Tim Thompson put a smiley, so I guess you answer his question. Dylan Sang has a question, which is, what's your approach to syncing to the beat of the music?
Tap tempo LFOs and envelope followers. So I like to grab at least one beat out of the air or from a signal to provide me with a base level of sync and then improvise over that. So I have a couple tap tempo LFOs, which I'll just, especially if it's a live performance, you don't know exactly what the beats are going to be. So go ahead and tap those out and then fade those into certain parameters. But I also like just riding the knobs and syncing that way. And that's a lot more organic to me and has less latency too. There is a little bit of latency if you automatically follow frequencies or beats.
Yeah, and I've seen sometime I was reading on visualists. It's not necessary to. It's not the old, or was it iTunes or whatever the that I've got just a spectrograph. It's getting the tempo and doing your own interpretation on top of it.
And the feel. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
But the brain will go a long way into making up if you're not exactly beat sync. If it's interesting or beautiful and it fits the piece, no one's going to notice that you didn't hit every beat because it's not. I don't find it to be that type of work. Like some of the soundtrack beds that I make were similar to the last one. There is no sync. Like clearly, the music is different than the visuals, but the feel of the visuals fits. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, I guess this is an interesting topic. Do you always sync with audio or do you video track? Do you always sync with audio or do you do video tracks that you consider complete piece? That's from Next Expanse. And Dylan Sang, do you do it via MIDI or get triggers?
First question, answer, I don't always. I frequently do video pieces and then find audio that matches later if I want to present it that way or present it without the audio, in which case I have people going, this needs a soundtrack. And if anybody wants to do anything, feel free to hit me up because I love to work with some people even though I'm taking a sabbatical. And then the second question is control voltage. MIDI and I just never got along, so don't know what it is. To this day, I don't want to have anything to do with this.
It happens.
Yeah, but voltages I'm great with, and so there is a module here which has it has a microphone on it, and it also has a signal input, and essentially it's an envelope follower. So it breaks out sound into different frequency bands. It gives me 1 volt, which is the video standard, 0 to 1 volts. Control voltages from that. And generally I slew all those because they can be super spazzy coming out. And that's what I'll take 1 or 2 elements when I'm doing live. Or in this case, I think there was maybe 1 element there. And then the rest of it I'll play out. So.
Yeah, I guess, what is it? Low end, mid, and high end, and that give you enough place in the music where there's transition.
Yeah.
I guess. Alex is asking, what's the future of video synthesizers? Trend technology. I don't know. How do you see yourself going, or how do you see the modular world going with video?
Well, a lot of people are interested in video. There essentially is one manufacturer of equipment, and that's LZX. There is a whole other system designed by an engineer named Dave Jones, who is at an experimental television center. It is fantastic. It's been demoed, but it's still not in production. Hopefully sometime soon that'll happen. So it's a fairly limited market, and the gear is pretty limited. It probably is to the audio world, or the audio modular world, what the audio modular world is to the guitar world. A small fraction of the overall market. There is gear available, but it is, as I said earlier, it's both harder to use, it has a steeper learning curve, and more expensive to get a basic setup. So that's an impediment itself to entry. And so that's where I think some of the software patching stuff can come in. And I've seen some amazing stuff done with that as well.
Yeah.
But where it's going is into obsolescence, like all this stuff. So I don't know how long this cycle will last, but eventually it'll be like, oh, analog modular video. I had one of those setups 30 years ago, but I sold it to buy these samplers, right? So.
Yeah, it's nice to see the wave, and you've got the software. You're going back to analog and then you're coming back to software, and you move, back and forth.
I think we should be flexible like that, certainly. Probably I will have at least a subset of this gear forever because I have a great affinity for it, and it's something I actually always wanted. But I don't know if I could say it's going to be wildly popular.
Yeah. I see. Oh, Earth Modular Society and all that gun also is here. I think, that's all the question. Oh, Schmuster, are there terms in video synthesis that you don't does come? Oh yeah, sorry, I'll redo it. Are there terms in video synthesizers that you don't just come across in audio synthesizers? Like
terms?
Yeah, I don't know, like granular synthesizers.
Oh,
does it exist in video?
There could be, but basically what we have is what the manufacturers implemented. So most of all of this is similar to your East Coast or West Coast. It's either additive or subtractive, but there could be other methods. Certainly with some of the newer digital modules, you can affect video via shaders or essentially memory palettes is a voltage controlled frame buffer. So there are some other techniques, but it's all fairly basic.
Okay. We passed the top of the hour, so I know it's time to start the wrap up. Is there anything, I don't know, do you want to talk about upcoming projects or upcoming show? I think we talked about the one in Poland, and I think Tim said it's on the 2nd of October.
Yeah, I think you covered everything, so I'm good.
Yeah, just making sure that
I appreciate it.
Not forgotten something. Oh, I have a message from Chris. Let's hide that. Sometimes that's my trouble when I put a Facebook page.
Oh yeah, the one I don't have.
Yeah, so I put back the intermediate on the Facebook, and then we put the so that's your upcoming performance, and I guess on Resonant Frequency you're going to be heavily involved in some of the visuals.
I would, yes. I'm hoping. I hope they have me. I'm actually looking forward to working with that again. It's been a few months of sabbatical with that too. And I'm looking forward to the next phase. We've been doing it for a long time, and it's been really rewarding. And I'm looking forward to a new chapter.
Yeah, and the online, I know from doing this small show, how difficult is it to do a live event with OBS and synchronizing all this stuff, and doing it every month is quite taxing.
Yeah, you're doing
coordination.
So you know exactly what's involved. Except that there's like 6 other performers waiting in the wings, ready to go. Yeah. So as I said, a lot of that is Mark Linzer, All Electric Kitchen, who's done an amazing job at putting our infrastructure together.
Yeah, so. When you've got 6 people with different OBS bandwidths and trouble and.
Oh, that's what techs are for. So.
Yes.
Good for the tech rehearsal.
Thanks, Mark, Electric Kitchen, for dealing with it. All right, I'm just looking about who's there, and I'm going to do a review of the news. Okay, we had the team, Next Expanse, Modular Society, DB Poland, Wabi-Sabi, Alex Barnett, Peronosphora. Who did I miss? All That Gone, Coyote, which is Colleen, or Tanuki Spider Cat.
Yeah, he's Spider Cat, yeah.
Astral Vitae. Oh, I missed that. Benjamin Iso, Electric Kitchen is here. I'm just going back through. I think I've got a bit. Bruce Ricordan, So Dylan Sang, Malaki, Alphaster. Thanks everybody for joining. Don't forget to click subscribe and follow and everything, and especially I like to get more followers on the Bandcamp and follow Bill. So going back on the news. Oh wait, I should put the screen like we are both together on the screen. Here we go. So pitchymango.org is my site. You can learn everything about it. Let me know information if there's something missing. I've got writings with a timeline of the history of electronic music in the Bay Area, so that's interesting. And also looking at all the different communities and shows and open mic. I want to thank all my supporters that are sponsoring me. So it's on Bandcamp. Supporter, it's $20 a year. I do it on Bandcamp. It's easier than Patreon, and that allows me to support these shows and do some music and support some other musicians. We've got Resident Electronic Music Monthly, which is on Tuesday, October 13 at 8 p.m. It's on Bay Improviser. I need to create a page on Facebook also as an event, but bayimproviser.com, you can find it. There is a sign-up form. Please sign up. So pre-recorded video uploaded on YouTube as unlisted, and we'll watch it all together. Before the Tuesday, October 13, you've got Resonant Frequency, which is on Sunday, October 4th, and it's a completely live show, as you've heard. That's the beauty of it. From 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you go to RusticNerd.live, you will have this more detail and the sign-up form. We've got Sonic Sundays, which is run by Fez, the Sonic Alliance. It's on the Twitch. It's this Sunday at 5 p.m. You've got Modulate TV, which is this Sunday also at 9 p.m. What's the timeline? I guess Colorado time. 1 p.m. California time. 2 p.m. Colorado. 4 p.m. New York. Oh, this is maybe on the European time, British time. So yeah, 1 p.m. in California, and if you go Modulate Instagram, from there you'll get to their YouTube channel, which is Modulate TV. And I'm performing with a lot of awesome people like Container, Eki Shola, M.0 at the virtual DNA launch. Star Crash from Afar is this Thursday at 8 p.m. And finally, moving to Bandcamp, so I've got my album Symphony. You can get it for free, and if you leave a review, I'll pick up one and send the DVD. So Quadraphonic 5.1. Yeah, Quadraphonic is a little bit like a visual. It's very few manufacturers and very few people that are trying to do these things, but it's interesting. Talking about Bandcamp, Susan Shani just released an album, which is one of her concerts at Lapsus, so it's on the Lapsus record, but if you look on Bandcamp, Susan Shani, you should see it. The Sonic one that was released yesterday. You've got the same from Julia Bonar, Industrial Symphony. She does modular techno, I guess. And you've got from Error Grid, I think Malaki gave a little bit more information, from Snakes of Russia, Carried to California in the Swamp of Bees. So that's also a new album from Error Grid where Malaki is on. I think I've got everything. Let's go back to your Instagram page. All right, let's get people dizzy till I scroll back to the top. I put the link again. There we go. Alright, so Dylan Sang, just noticed that's a BLM shot. What a great design. Okay, I'm not sure where was the BLM shot. I missed it. Anyway.
This one, a Black Sabbath.
Okay. Alright, sorry. Oh, yes, nice one. Yeah, I just went for the cat on synthesizer. Alright, so that was awesome. Thanks, Bill, for participating. I'm going to put you on the... Sorry. dealing with the technology. Thanks, Bill, for participating. I'll leave you the word of the end, and then we'll say bye.
That's it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thanks, everyone, for joining the show. That was awesome. Next week, I'm having what I call it an all-star show, so I'll invite everybody that has been on the show if they want to show up at 11, and we'll have a chat together about whatever subject you want to bring. And after... I'm trying to remember. I think I know I have Peter Neibauer lineup. I've got Traversy Official, and I've got Junaid also. I forgot what's his artist name. Anyhow, I'll post more information as we go. Thank you very much, everybody. See you next week for a chat with all these awesome artists that I had in the past few months. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.